All right, everyone, we need to talk. Hello, my name is Abby Stone at the Curly Haired Keeper. This is Aries. He is my 50% Superdwarf reticulated python, and I want to talk about how amazing these snakes are. There's been a lot of negative hype around reticulated pythons recently. Snakes in general have kind of had a bad rap for a while. We all know that. A lot of it is based in misinformation, and most recently reticulated python specifically has been shown in a very negative light. So I want to shine a little bit of positive light and talk about why I think that these particular snakes, reticulated pythons, are amazing. Dun, dun, dun. So first thing is they are beautiful animals. So you can see, if I can get him to around my neck. So you can see, maybe, that they are absolutely gorgeous. They come in a lot of different varieties and morphs, and they don't look real. So they are beautiful. The other thing that a lot of people don't realize is snakes have personalities. Reticulated pythons in particular, I think, have some of the biggest personalities. They're curious, they're trainable. So Aries here is tap trained. If I go and knock on his enclosure, he will come to the front and come out on his own, which is really cool to see. I'm going to start target training him soon, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, they're really smart, they're really curious, and it's really, really fun to see them interact with their environment and just learn about their surroundings. Another really cool thing about reticulated pythons is they come in different sizes. So like I said earlier, Aries is a 50% Superdwarf reticulated python. That means he's 50% mainland. So he'll probably get around 10-ish feet. He might get a little bigger. He might stay a little smaller. These guys stay like little tiny versions of that, but they keep the amazing personality. Because one of the reasons that reticulated pythons have such a confident, curious attitude about the world is they're apex predators. Kind of like dogs. They don't have a lot in nature that come after them, so they're really confident, they love to explore, and in a tiny little package, that's a really cool thing to experience in a snake. It's also really cool in a big snake. It's just harder to keep a big snake in a way that is really healthy and keeps that really big snake really happy. So with the different sizes, that actually means that they come from different localities as well. There's various islands that reticulated pythons come from, and the smaller islands have the smaller snakes. If you want to learn more about Superdwarf and Dwarf reticulated pythons, which is the localities that are smaller than mainland retics, go check out Out Reptiles. They're amazing. Garrett Hartle is incredibly knowledgeable about these localities and these animals. They're just amazing, and again, come in all kinds of varieties and sizes and morphs, and I can go on and on about how amazing and beautiful they are. So let's go on to the next thing. You're on the stool, come here. Curious, confident, he loves to go explore. Honestly, the biggest thing with these guys, with retics, is interaction. They love to come out and interact. He is kept in a 6x4x2, so he has a lot of space. He's currently right around 4.5 feet. And he still begs to come out every single day and hang out. It truly seems like they love interacting with humans. Obviously, each reticulated python has its own individual personality, so not all of them are going to be as social as Aries here, but I think if you take the time to work with them and develop that relationship and bond with them, you have a pretty good chance of having a very interactive, curious, confident snake. The way in which you keep them, we have some variety here that works really well for reticulated pythons. You can keep them bioactive. That can be challenging because they are larger snakes and they are curious snakes. So keeping plants alive with these guys can be a little bit of a challenge. It can be done. It can be a process and a challenge. You can keep naturalistic. So you can have a substrate, a natural substrate, some fake plants or some actual plants, real live plants in there with them, branches, things like that, and they do really well in that as well. They can do a more synthetic or fake setup as well, where you have paper towels or cardboard substrate. I actually have him on cardboard substrate, mainly because he pees a lot and it's a lot easier, in my personal opinion, to clean it that way. I might change it eventually, but for now he's happy, his parameters are on point, and it makes my life a little bit easier. You can also do a hybrid situation, which is actually what I'm working on for him right now, where you have something like, maybe you have some live plants with the cardboard substrate. Maybe you have, like, those plants would need to be potted, which honestly isn't the worst idea when you have a reticulated python. Or you have actual substrate, like natural substrate with isopods and springtails to help with the cleanup, but you do fake plants, things like that. So there's a lot of options. You can get creative with their enclosures. They really love it when their enclosure gets moved around and switched up because it's new things to explore. And they're really fun to watch as they explore their surroundings and their enclosure. And yeah, it's never boring with a retic around. One of my favorite things about owning a retic, and this is kind of snakes in general, but you really need to be present with them. You need to develop a mutual respect with the animal, and it's not an animal that you can just take out of its enclosure and just like be on your phone the entire time or read a book. They're very, like I said before, they're very interactive. So yeah, just taking that chance to get away from the screen and just be present with a really cool living creature that you have a relationship with is just next level cool. And the last thing I want to talk about is the community. So the retic community specifically is just so cool and so amazing. When I first got Aries, who was my first reticulated python, I had so many wonderful humans reach out to me, make sure that I had everything I needed, kind of knew what to expect when getting him, and that was just so appreciated. I could go on and on about why I love these animals so much and why reticulated pythons are just amazing animals, amazing snakes, but then we'd be here all day. So if you have any other questions or any other amazing things to add to this list, comment below. If you're new to snakes or maybe even afraid of snakes, hopefully this video brought a little light to why they are amazing, and they're not as scary. I mean, I don't find them scary at all, but they're not as scary as a lot of people make them out to be. They're certainly not the demon animals that media tries to make them into with the sharing of a lot of misinformation. Don't assume because you're afraid of it that it's automatically bad. Know that being afraid of it is okay, but try not to place some sort of evil tendency on a critter because of that fear. But I can talk about that more later. Anyway, as always, thanks so much for watching. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Give this channel a follow if you would like more snake content. Sharing, commenting, things like that, that helps this channel out a lot. And as always, live life with brave curiosity. Catch you next time. Bye. He's coming for the cover. Get it. Oh, you can do it. Oh, you can do it.